Afternoon, folks. Welcome back. This is John Pettipas. It's now 6 minutes before 2 o'clock the afternoon on the afternoon of Thursday, the 3rd day of February, 2022. And I'm doing a tribute to the late Henrika Rita VANBOMMEL. Henrika Rita VANBOMMEL, whose obituary appeared in the Halifax Herald on Tuesday, the 1st day of February. 3 days ago now. And you're going to have to bear with me. I have a lot of ground to cover. Henrika Rita VANBOMMEL, Mrs. John VANBOMMEL. What a wonderful lady. She just celebrated back in the 1st of January. She celebrated her 94th birthday. The last time I had the privilege of seeing Mrs. VANBOMMEL was down in the wing of the R.K. McDonald Nursing Home back in August. Ironically, I was on my way to Pictou County to visit a Dutch gentleman and some business. And I dropped in, and her son Jerry was there. I think he's the youngest in the family, youngest son for sure. And he was there, very faithful to his mother. Very faithful to both his parents. And they take, and the whole family, they're a remarkable family. The sisters and the brothers and the grandkids and the in-laws and outlaws, the whole family, they're a remarkable family. So it was that Sunday afternoon, pleasant August Sunday afternoon, which would be now 6 months ago, in August of 2021. And Rita looked especially good. It must be very difficult for somebody to leave their home and their independence to go in assisted care. Not must be, it is. It is. But she looked especially good. I visited her. She was up in her chair. Sometime I'd see her over the years. She was in her bed, but she was up in her chair, and her son was there, and son Jerry, and she had her lovely smile. When I think of Rita VANBOMMEL, no matter what, she had her lovely, pleasant, sincere smile. And I knew her from, she was 94. I knew her from my days at Lower St. River. They used to bring cucumbers and tomatoes in from their garden. And all my life that I knew her, I took in, I said, she looks like somebody I know. I said, how can this be? I came from Holland. They're first-generation immigrants. She looks like somebody I know. And it wasn't until the late Arnold Van Huyten, pork farmer of Salt Springs, out to number 7, Antigonish County, died, and I was at his wake. And because his wife, Zena, a remarkable lady. She used to bike out to my fruit stand by the Irving Station and say, we got beets. I got bunched beets and carrots. And I didn't know, till I read the obituary when I was at that wake, that Arnold's lovely wife, and she was a lovely wife, wonderful woman in her own right, Zena, S-I-N-A, Zena Van Huyten, or Zeta Van Huyten, and Mrs. VANBOMMEL Rita were sisters. And that explained for years, a couple of decades, says, how does this lady look so much like somebody I know? And I said, it's not a French name, it's not a Scottish name, it's not a whatever she takes. They were sisters. Two sisters come over here, interested in her boat in the pork business. Now, pork business is like potatoes, but even, ironic, I said to somebody this morning, it's a very technical business. So the tribute is to Rita and John. I'm going to speak in John for a minute. Okay, and here we see the flag of Holland. This is the flag of Holland. And it looks it's not dissimilar to our Acadian flag. Acadian flag, they go vertical. The Blessed Virgin Mary, the gold star, our patron saint of French Acadians. This is the Acadian flag. And this is the Dutch, the flag of Holland. And they go horizontal. Same colors, they go horizontal. So, her late husband, John, he was a remarkable fellow too. He served with the Dutch army, and after World War II, in Dutch Indonesia, the nation of Indonesia. And from there, they immigrated to Canada. They come by ship to Canada, Pier 21, in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And they've made fine citizens. And if John maybe, I always like, if John was a little bit determined, I'm not going to say they're cranky, but very determined cat at times, you have to realize what these people went through. And he was a good man, but what these people went through. And it's that for a smiley lady, there's only once did I see that lady bring tears to her eyes. And she told me of her days as a girl in Holland. And the Holland was overran by the Nazis and Hitler in World War II. And the Germans come in, and young fellas, you could be anywhere from 14, 15 up, off they took you, and they took them back to make munitions and guns and bombs as slave labor in Germany. And at that time, her and her husband had a farm, a pork farm in Heatherton, Summerside, Heatherton, Antigonish County, as did her sister Zita, and her husband, the brother-in-law to Rita and John's Arnold, had a substantial pork farm out to Loch Harbour Road. Anyway, hay. Nowadays, we see these big round bales of hay. They're anywhere from 13, 14. I think they have them up now. They're like 25, 28 equivalent of square bales of hay, tightly done by John Deere machine, very efficient and wrapped tight with a mesh on it, and then it's put the plastic bag, looks like a giant marshmallow out in the hay field. You don't even have to have a barn to put them in. So they didn't have square balers then, didn't have round balers, and the hay was put in a pile, a stack of hay. And she remembers the German soldiers coming along, and they thought there was young Dutch guys in it, and they opened fire at the machine guns. The German soldiers opened fire in that mound of hay in the field or by the barn. If anybody was in there, they'd be killed. And that recollection one Sunday afternoon in my store, it brought tears to the lady's eyes. There's a private family mass. She was a very faithful Catholic. That lady prayed her prayers every day. Every day that God bring. I'm certain that Rita would have said prayers on the day she died, on Monday the 31st, just 3 days ago. A very good and faithful lady. And I remember going to John's wake. And I'd never seen a wake quite like it, that sometimes you go to wakes nowadays and they have their cup of coffee in their hands, or everybody don't know if they're going to the cattle show or the stock car races or what. They're in denim and they're in open-neck shirts and even T-shirts sometimes. I remember going to John VANBOMMEL's wake, Antigonish at the funeral home, and everybody, Mrs. VANBOMMEL was dressed, she could have been Queen Beatrix or Princess, the later Queen Juliana. And every son and daughter was dressed up with tie. I deliberately today put a white shirt and tie on in respect for Rita, a wonderful lady. Wonderful family, period. Everyone in those chairs and everyone stand up in line, from the grandkids to the in-laws to the daughters and the sons, was all dressed up in their Sunday best. And it was the first break in the VANBOMMEL family, that their father, that had the determination and guts and courage to leave everything behind in Holland and get on a ship to a new land and come to Canada, to Nova Scotia, Canada, to leave their beloved Holland and everything behind and start new. And they started in the older farmhouse, and I'm certain it would have been cold. It would have been an older, cold farmhouse. And they started raising pork. And pork is not an easy business. The price is up and down, and the price of pork can be high in the store, but the price to producer is not very good. And they worked. And the whole family worked. And they were loved and well cared for. And knitting. I'm going to just take this here. These are homemade woolen socks. Actually, they come from very close to where Rita was born. I don't know. They're beautiful homemade woolen socks. Well, she used to come in, and we're so glad to get them. Margie'd buy them from her, and we'd put them she made little kids slippers, like booty slippers. Findex yarn. She knitted children's socks. She really loved children. She made big stuff too, but she loved to make stuff. Rita loved kids. I'm certain the first thing she did get in heaven was to go and see where children that had died went to see. That's the first. I'm confident it wouldn't have been even her own relatives. She would have went to see children. Rita loved children, and she brought the little booties and the socks in, and they always sold. It was lovely made. Margie put them in plastic bags and twist tie them, and she had a display especially for Rita's socks. And every year she come in, she had a little basket by the checkout counter of the Findex yarn. She knitted and crocheted. She was a wonderful lady. Remember, I was at her house many times. Before Thanksgiving, drop off a box of berries in summer. Drop in the sale over, and I don't have them here, but there was a lovely pair of wooden shoes. Okay, and I don't mean this disrespectful. I mean this with the greatest of love and respect. Love and respect. Love and respect. And somebody looked at wooden shoes, and they said, Dutchman. Wooden shoes, wooden head, wouldn't listen. Now, don't take that derogatory. I repeat, wooden shoes, wooden head, wouldn't listen. To leave Holland, again, to get in that ship in probably Rotterdam or one of the seaports, the Netherlands, the fine nation Netherlands, and go across the ocean to a new country, the province of Nova Scotia. Again, I repeat, leave your beloved. It takes guts and courage on the part of John VANBOMMEL and his wonderful new bride, Rita, to come. And it's interesting she died in the R.K. McDonald nursing home, which she's only been in there now probably for 3 or 4 years now, since in her early 90s. Rita worked at home for 17 years. And I'm certain that the people that she attended and interacted with would have nothing but pleasant memories of this wonderful lady. That she worked 17 years at the nursing home. And she dearly loved all her children and her in-laws and her grandchildren. And there's great-grandkids now. And she'd come in, and even as she got elderly, Jerry would grow the tomato plants and put them out, and she'd attend them. I seen her walk along the road and headed in with her walker. She loved to get out. She had lovely pansies and daffodils. What's the other flowers come in the fall? Dahlias. But she had all these nasturtiums. That's the one she had. Nasturtiums, plant them from seed. And for a whole row, I can still see it in front of her house just up from the St. Anne's Church in Summerside. And she attended tomato plants, and she'd bring those tomatoes in the fall, and lovely tomatoes. She was just a pleasure. I'm going on longer than I normally do on a video, but she deserves it. She takes the guts and courage of those people. And you see it. I had the privilege of having one of her granddaughters, Chrissy. And Chrissy she wasn't very old. I don't know if she was old enough to drive yet. And she was making fudge. She'd make fudge and sell it. And then there's one of her brothers lives up the road. Another guy is a supervisor with a fencing company. And they're just a remarkable family. Her son would pick blueberries. His wife picked blueberries, bring them in. They're a very enterprising people. So I'm gonna move forward here, give prominence here to the beautiful flag of Holland, the nation of Holland, and we owe so much to Dutch people, and the determination, the guts, the courage. Some have quota now if they're lucky enough to get into quota type stuff. Nobody, I know if a Dutch guy makes cheese up in used to buy blocks of cheese from him. Gouda cheese, pepper cheese. It was all good, but pepper-flavored, garlic cheese, and there was one more flavor he had, several flavors, up along the Cove Basin. He always respected, had a special thing come in his operation for the veterans. There's not many veterans left now. They're few and far between, sad to say, of World War II. Just the biological time clock goes on. And that guy that makes the Gouda cheese, sells it at the City Market in Halifax, lived with his young wife and family. They'd be younger than John and Rita, in an army tent. And somewhere along there, lower economy, 5 Islands, across from the Cove Basin, not for 1 year, but for 2 years. So when I hear people say some of the Dutch have done well, and that's fine. I love to see people they lived not 1 year, but 2 years, this particular cheesemaker, in an army tent in Nova Scotia. Hard enough to live in a drafty cold house in Nova Scotia in winter with a wood stove. It was not insulated. But they lived in an army tent for 2 years. That is the guts, that is the courage, and no matter what happened in Rita's life, she never lost her lovely smile. And it's very sad to see her gone, and to her sons and daughters, all of them, and daughters-in-laws and son-in-laws, you've suffered a great loss. I'm going to repeat that. You have suffered a great loss. But we know with confidence that wonderful lady is now in heaven, reunited with her husband, John. That's the one bright thing we can say is that John and Rita VANBOMMEL, that went through so much together, from Holland to Indonesia to Nova Scotia, that they are now reunited in the presence of God and any loved ones that have gone before them to heaven. She was in the true sense of the word, Henrika Rita, known as Rita, Mrs. John VANBOMMEL, Rita VANBOMMEL, was a pleasure to know. And I say, Donkey well. Donkey well. Donkey well is like tablet in Gaelic, means thank you. Mercy in French. Wadal in Micmac. Thank you in English. Donkey well. Donkey well is Dutch for thank you. And at this time, I say on behalf of all Canadian, all Nova Scotians, and all Canadian people that had the pleasure to interact with this family, I say to you, Rita and John, now both in heaven, donkey well. Donkey well, and thank you for choosing Canada. Thank you for choosing Nova Scotia and Antigonish County. You have been a blessing, and it was my pleasure to know you. And I can say all the best, and God bless this wonderful lady, Rita VANBOMMEL. Goodbye, and share the video far and wide, and say a prayer for, maybe Rita will say a prayer for us. We're certain Rita's in heaven. Rita will say a prayer for all of us on earth. She was a remarkable and wonderful lady. From the first day I knew her till the last time I seen her, I've nothing but fond memories of that wonderful lady of guts and courage and determination with her lovely smile, her lovely, pleasant smile. And go on the funeral home's website. There's a picture. It's not an obituary in the paper, but it'll do your heart some good to look at the lovely picture. And I looked at it this morning, and I said, that's wonderful, Rita. Thank you. Bye for now.